I thought you were gonna start it up.
You want to start it? You start it.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're back. Nico, Rico, we got a live one here. Controversial for some.
This is our fifth.
Fifth one. All right. Okay. So we're gonna talk about.
What I talk about.
You gonna answer it?
Oh.
All right. Oh Jesus. We're gonna talk about something controversial. We're gonna talk about influence and agenda. And we're gonna talk. We're not gonna talk about the entire group, but we are gonna touch on letters of the LGBTQIA+. Hey, we're gonna talk about the coalition, but we're not gonna talk about a whole. We're gonna talk about only one specific part. Now, I saw something earlier today about, why does it matter, or how are we affected by the trans community? And this is my opinion. This is what I'll say. I have nothing against the trans community. I don't think most people have anything against the trans community. I think most people are unaware of individuals who are trans.
It's such a small subset of society.
For what it is, but a lot of it is basically most individuals don't know a person is trans who might be trans unless you really are presenting, or it's kind of, the look is very prominent. A lot of people might not even know. One thing I realized about this whole thing, and I'm not even going to try to get into the whole agenda thing, is it's not about being.
That's the whole reason I accepted getting into this podcast. So you will talk about the agenda.
That's it. But it's not about the. Okay, there is an agenda, but
because I remember we had the podcast about the books, and you were like, "Oh, you don't think they should be in the schools?" I'm like, "Oh shit!"
So that's
why I was surprised that you were talking like that.
One part. I think the majority of those groups they're not looking for that. Look, everyone's due respect. Everyone is due the ability to prosper and work and do all those things and not have encroach upon other individuals. I'm okay with all that. I'm okay with acknowledgement. I'm okay with existence. I'm okay with the ability to thrive. I'm okay with all that. And I think most people are okay with that. What I'm not okay with is the demand to change other individuals in acceptance. The thing about it is, it's like, okay, I have no issue with you being amongst us. I can't change you about being amongst us. We're not going to persecute you and rout you out and exile you. You're here. You're here. Make it right. But the thing about it is, it's like, if you're going to be amongst us, for most of us who are not threatened or concerned, you can't tell.
You can't
tell us as a society. You will acknowledge us at our discretion. You will acknowledge us at our pace. You will allow us access not just to the main forum. You won't just allow us access to equal opportunities and equal ability to thrive and equal footing. You will allow us access to your personal space, your personal thoughts, your personal beliefs and ideologies. You will address us by the pronouns that we tell you to address us by. Okay, out of courtesy. No. You will do those things at our discretion, how we say to do it, when we say to do it. Okay. And the biggest thing I think most people are really hard pressed about is, and you will give us access to your children. Now, I think that part is so small. And I think that a lot of people ignore the idea of who has the authority in that. If parents collectively say no, that's the end of it. It doesn't go any further than that. No. No is a complete sentence. We don't have to justify anything. The people that are the guardians of, say, the children, don't have to allow you in those space. They can deny you access to that space, like they can deny anybody else, right?
I mean, it's their damn kids.
And the thing about it is, being denied privileged positions, you being denied certain private aspects, does not take away from your existence, does not take away from your acknowledgement, does not take away from your opportunities. It doesn't set an angry mob on you because somebody told you no, right? There's that. But like I said, it's not the majority of the trans community. It's a very small radical group of individuals. And you mostly see them on the internet. The people who are on the internet yelling about you will do this, you will do that. It's not mental health. It's all this angry. You will accept us. You will do this. What I realize is it's those few individuals are the ones who need validation. I need you. I need you to accept me when I say accept me. How rapidly and how intensely I need you to accept me. And I don't need you to question me about it. And I need all of you to think that way. And once I'm comfortable with you all doing that as when I say so, then I'll be okay. That's not how any of this thing works. That's not how any marginalized group works. You can't do it like that.
I just feel like they're
some, not there, because it's
some of
a
them.
very small group.
Some of them, and there's also people who are not part of that community with a lot of power that have also made this a big issue.
Right.
Because they can't just be loud on their own and then everyone is just like, what? No, like they have to be put into your phone and get shared by them.
Right.
Like, for example, the Bud Light thing.
The Bud Light thing.
I don't know what her name is, but she doesn't just choose, sorry, to go on the thing. Like, there's a CEO and a board who approved this.
Right.
And they're not LGBT.
Yeah, bro, like,
so there's something that they're trying to push on them. So it's
a marketing agenda.
It's a marketing agenda.
Right,
and I feel like they're doing it, number one, just to grab people's attention. And number two, I think they're trying to do this to make the left look bad. They're trying to make them that what I think is that the right is trying to, and I can say I'm right leaning. I'm not right, but I'm right leaning. They're doing this to make the Democrats look bad. Like, oh, look at what they do. But it's a really small subset, and it's themselves who are making their big. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's the thing about the radicals, the radical agenda. They're easily you can easily take advantage of radicals because what happens is
they're so polarizing.
So the angry person who wants something is met with the angry person who wants to deny you. All the people in the middle are just like, whoa. It ain't
exactly.
It's not that serious. And because you guys are fighting about everybody else, you're taking on a fight and going about it that's not the proper way. What happens is they stifle. So what happens is a lot of people who have nothing against the LGBT community see a few people that are agitated and go about a certain agenda in a very aggressive way, and then they have somebody else in their ear saying, yeah, they're talking to you. Well, that agitates you because, like, hey, that's not how I get down. But you got both sides fighting in between. You're in the midst of the crossfire. And that's what most people are. They're tired of being in the crossfire. Like I said, I got nothing against the LGBT community. I got nothing against the trans community at all. But there are certain individuals that the trans community is not checking. Like any group, there are certain individuals in every community that people, unfortunately, in our society are not checking. I hate to say it, but the moderate is usually so spineless, even though they outnumber everybody, they don't take the power from the strong radical. So I don't care if it's Republican, Democrat, LGBT, Black, whatever. The most radical people, the loudest people who get a lot of things pushed through, usually in an unhealthy way, yes, they make gains, but it's also problematic. The groups that are moderate don't check these people and say, hey, for the majority, you're hurting us by doing it like this. You're creating a stigma. You're creating a stereotypical issue.
Yeah, it creates a stereotype.
Don't do this. If you look, when we need you to be the spear, but we have to be sharp and we have to be tactical. And what we can't hurt the population that we're looking for, not acceptance so much from, but that we're looking to have cohesion and
but nowadays, if they start doing that, they're gonna lose support because they're gonna be seen as homophobic. So even they agree, I'm sure they agree, but they feel like they can't do anything about it.
So like my thing is like this for the trans community. If the trans community, like any community that says, hey, look, rights, this, that, and third, yada, 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 this is what it is. They have to accept some realities. You're a trans man, you're a trans woman. You cannot come for the definition of man and woman because it's already occupied by others. And unless there's a consensus that say, okay, no, you share it too, you can't take it from people. You can't take it from people. You've defined yourselves. Okay, you can't redefine people who don't want to be redefined. You cannot tell me that I'm all of a sudden I'm a cis man. You don't get the label.
Yeah, I started hearing the cis man, cis woman. I'm like, what?
For a while, but you can't label me so that you can take a label on your own. You could be a trans man, but you can't take man from me and then make me trans man to basically appropriate manhood. It has to be an equitable exchange. It has to be a transition. If it's denied and it's not hurting your life, you're not losing opportunities, you're not losing rights, you're not losing anything for not getting this designation, you have to be okay with that. That's just what it is. Another thing, and most of them are not like this, but there's a lot of transgender women that believe they shouldn't have to disclose their identity to unsuspecting heterosexual men. That is a flawed notion because you're aware of something about you that might not be accepted by someone else. You want to take that right of the discretion away from people. No.
And you know what another, I think, bigger problem is that, I mean, we know that we're adults, and even if we don't know it, we can have our own opinions. You know, we've had experiences, we're mature, we can analyze things.
Mm-hmm.
But 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds watching this.
And see,
what about them?
There's a big thing about that.
They can't do this.
What happens is every community, say the trans community, they have their population, they need to put these things in check. You need to go to the people who are radical and saying like, hey, they said no. Did we lose rights? Did we lose ground? Did we lose opportunities? Did we lose a healthy footing in our own lives? If the answer is no, then respect the people who are still respecting you. Don't force their hand. Don't call them birthers. Don't call them bleeders. Don't call them cis. Don't try to redefine a group that the population doesn't want to be redefined so that you can feel more comfortable. You cannot do that.
I've seen videos talking about pregnant capable beings or people.
You cannot insult the people that you're looking to acceptance from. You can't force them to accept you. So it's not great to say, okay, well, guess what? I was this, but now I'm doing that. Okay, you're gonna just appropriate that from us? Yes, and I'm gonna redefine you without your permission. You can't do that. Now, for the kid thing, the way that society works is this: when you indoctrinate children into something, they'll see it as normal, and they'll defend it because that's what they know. It's a generational thing. That's why kids nowadays defend the music from now, or the things from now, or
just like we did
from our time and time before that. Everybody with an agenda knows. That's how racism still gets perpetuated. They know if we get enough of the young people to accept something as normal, they will protect it because
in 20 years, 30 years,
yeah,
it'll pay off.
It's their paradigm. You won't, and no matter what kind of logic you use, they will defend it, no matter what it is. And what happens is everyone knows that. Everybody knows that. Whether it's politicians, social change, whatever. You know, if you get your ideology accepted by the youth, they'll in their mind, they'll be like, oh, that makes sense. You don't have anything, they don't have anything to compare it to.
Yeah, because that's their life.
That's what they're indoctrinating. And everybody with an agenda knows that. That's why people fight against agendas. That's why people go hard against agendas. You don't think in America they didn't fight against integration? They didn't fight against Black people having rights? Because they know once you get in the 60s, once you get a generation to accept something, they accept it. That's why you get whites in America will fight against their bigoted parents for Black people and brown people. Why? Because the movement got them involved and they didn't have the connections that their parents have.
But that, I think, I don't want to say objectively, but that I'm okay with. But I'm not okay with the whole transgender thing and pushing it through and saying, oh, I'm not gonna choose your gender because no, it's like if a kid is 5, true. If a kid is 5, I mean, say a newborn, biological male.
Okay.
You shouldn't be like, oh, we're just gonna do the non-binary thing. We're gonna choose a non-binary name. There's a very famous singer in Colombia who did this. Mm-hmm. Had his kid last year. I think what they should do, I think what they should do is wait till it presents itself, wait till it forms itself. Don't try to push it.
Let it define itself.
Gay people, like, they just started showing their things, even though they were being dressed one way. Yeah. Just do that.
The thing about
go along with what they want.
Don't discourage it. Be mindful.
Exactly. Don't discourage it.
Yeah. And what happens is you feel the way you feel. If you start to see the traits, like anything, with anything, characteristics, mental health, whatever, a person's affinity for something, talents, whatever. Understand it, And if it's destructive behavior, then you might want to discourage it, redirect it. But if it's nothing, if it's not going to hurt anybody and it helps a person define and understand their identity, then you slowly encourage it because they're learning and you around them are learning, right? But this whole idea of
but they want to allow surgeries on kids like under 10.
But you know why they're doing that? Because it's for adults to feel comfortable. Because I want to make a decision. You don't give the child's not really making a decision. They're still learning to understand. The adults still learn to understand. But what happens, a lot of people act like they're experts because they're living vicariously through their children. Well, when I was a kid, I was denied, I wasn't able to make this choice. So I would make the choice now. That's messed up because you were denied the ability to choose when you were a child. And your course of life, you still live with that regret or that denial because things were different in your period. What you do is, instead of allowing your child a choice that your parents allow you to make, you take that choice from them. You are no different than you're
doing the same.
Arrested Development. All you're doing now is you're in your childlike state, making the decision for your child that you would have made when you were a child. It's still a child making the decision. You're robbing your child of the ability to make the choice for themselves because you were robbed. That's all it is.
Let us know in the comments down below how gay you are on a scale of 1 to 10.
Really?
Leave a like.
Really? Is that what you really want to do? Is that what you
Or how straight you are on a scale of 1 to 10.
My Lord.
But have you had experience?
But much
have you?
Peace, respect, and love to all groups. Like I say, it's only a few fringe individuals. Like I say, I think the radicals are not being checked by the groups. They're being checked by groups who oppose them.
But not by their own.
The radicals are the ones battling, but the moderates and the progressives, the bigger population, need to put this stuff in check. We got to stop being fearful of or waiting around and be like, man, they are making progress for us and we'll sort it out later. No. Sort it out now. Do it right now. Stop with the foolishness. But y'all like and subscribe.
And all you girls going to college experimenting, do your thing, man.
We gotta post this, right? You do know we have to post this.
Was that a bad thing?
We have to post this.
Was that was that like a bad thing?
I'm gonna need you to think some things through. I'm thinking
you're gonna have to edit it.
I'm thinking you're in your regressed childhood mind, and you just
wait. Are you gonna have to cut that? Wasn't that bad?
I'm thinking that's what you. That's why don't you think some of this stuff?
Like to the point for you to cut it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy y'all night and enjoy yourselves.
At least hit the like button. At least. Thank you for watching all the way to the end.
And that's
why I didn't know.
And that's why I'm the editor. And that's why
I will let everything slide. I wouldn't give a damn.
Waiting on them promo.